You can literally brainwash yourself into having whatever you want. And if you think about the power of visualization and you think about like biting into a lemon, you imagine right now biting into a lemon, you know that you start to salivate, you start to have a real experience. And so the power of visualization, maybe you're familiar with it, maybe you're not, it's life-changing. And so if you can get into the habit every single day of going into that place where you are living your most optimal timeline and you start to truly believe that it's real, to know that it's real, to know that it's happening right now, then you start drawing your reality towards it, your perceived reality. You start opening the doors towards it. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. And so maybe let's take this moment right now to notice what we are noticing. What are you stressing about, focusing on that's not going well? Because the more you focus on something, the more momentum it gets and the more you're going to head towards it. And so I think one of the most important things that we can do is get familiar with what it feels like in our body, in our mind, in our field to have the life that we want. And it doesn't have to be specific. Maybe you don't know, but maybe you can imagine something that feels really good. What does abundance feel like? What does abundance feel like? What would you be doing in your abundance if you had everything that you ever need? If you had it, all the money that you needed, say you won the lottery. I feel like that's such a good exercise. It's just, okay, you won the lottery. You have $1 billion, whatever amount. What are you going to do? What are you going to do with that money right now? What do you do in your day to day? And go there, spend time there, make up a whole life, like this whole separate reality that you can go to when you close your eyes and be there. Go shopping for curtains, order things for the house, go on vacations, smell what it smells like to be baking in your favorite kitchen that's perfect for you. What are you having in the morning when you wake up? Who are you calling? And literally spend as much time there as possible. In brain retraining, DNRS, and other programs, you do at least an hour a day where you are in this high vibrational state. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about high vibrational state as well. So it's when we're spending time in there, and then we are initially starting with the undesirable whatever. So you focus, you realize that you're focusing on something, or you intentionally focus on something. So even though you're feeling stressed or anxious, or you're feeling lost, or you're feeling in lack, noticing that for 1 second and then firing it with a high vibrational feeling through visualization and imagining and bringing forward what it feels like to be in that, you are firing those neurons together. The mind does not know the difference between what you are visualizing and what is real in your current reality. That's how we can heal the nervous system, right? We're going into these high vibrational states where we're living in our most desired timeline. And so our body and our nervous system is finally saying, like, oh my God, we're safe after all these years of being stuck in fight or flight and thinking that I had to worry about my life and my survival and my ability to have enough and be enough. And no longer do I have to do that. So it's not like you have to wait for your circumstances to change. You just have to choose to go there in your mind and spend time there. And then your body changes, your field changes, and then you draw different things towards yourself. One of my favorite exercises that I did with you guys in the 21-day program to rewire your mind, which is still available if you ever want to sign up for that, is making a phone call to a friend. And you call your friend and you're telling them that like the best thing just happened. And so it could be like, I'm calling my friend and I'm saying, you know, I just bought a farm in Italy, and I'm just making something up, but I'm on a farm in Italy. I just bought a farm in Italy and everything's going well, and I met the love of my life, and I have blah blah blah, and like you just go into details and you start explaining what it is that you're experiencing in this chosen timeline. Or maybe it's something very, very simple, like you're already in your chosen timeline and you're calling your partner, your dream partner, the soulmate, and you're like, hey, honey, I just found these flights to go to Costa Rica, and there's like this yoga and wellness retreat, and we could go for 10 days, and Susie and Billy are going too, and do you want to go? And then you just imagine them saying yes, and it's like, oh my gosh, yay, okay, cool, I'm gonna book the tickets now. And so then you just go into brainwashing yourself. Like, it's real. When I go on walks, this is also in the program, I'm just telling you guys everything in the program. When you go on walks, it's like you can imagine that you are already in that timeline. And like, when I'm on a walk, especially like when I was in California, because I was doing more of my daily walks, I would say, like, in my mind, okay, so after this walk, I need to go to blah, blah, blah's house and drop off the keys for our business because, we're closing the office for 2 days, and the business is doing really well, and all the blah, blah, blah. Like, this isn't actually what I would think, but just going into details of like what you would be thinking if you were going on a walk in your chosen timeline, and starting to make it your reality, to literally be brainwashing yourself. And those are the practices that I used to heal my body, to heal my chronic illness of mast cell activation syndrome, chronic inflammatory response syndrome. Mostly chronic inflammatory response syndrome is the one that I healed significantly with this work. With that condition, I was not able to really leave my house because I was so sensitive to toxic mold, and I could not be around someone that was around toxic mold. And 85% of buildings have had water damage at some point. 55% still do have water damage. And 1/4 of the population, just throwing these things out there, but 1/4 of the population has the HLA-DR gene and has the potential to become sick with chronic inflammatory response syndrome, and they don't even know. But anyway, I couldn't go out in public for the most part. I couldn't really go into other people's homes. I couldn't spend too much time in businesses just because there was mold everywhere. I would start to slur my speech. I couldn't see straight. I would get severe brain fog. I would get super fatigued. I would break out in rashes and hives and acne, and it was this whole thing. And so I stayed home. And if anybody ever wanted to come home or come to my home, which was rare if I would let them, I would make them strip at the front door or on the balcony, change into either me or my ex-boyfriend's clothes, and then I would immediately put their clothes in the wash, everything that they brought, and I would sanitize them with EC3 mold laundry detergent, these essential oils, baking soda, white vinegar, like every single thing, citrus-safe, every single thing that I knew that would kill mold and mold spores and get rid of mycotoxins. And so I was living in this like severely dysregulated nervous system and body. And so through the process of brain retraining and brainwashing myself and my body and my nervous system, I was able to gain my life back. And I was able to find my center and find my truth and the ability to connect. I felt like it was very, very hard for me to even connect with my divine team. Like, my other program is 21 days to connect with your divine team. I felt like I couldn't meditate. I felt like I couldn't think straight. I couldn't even get clear because my thoughts were so all over the place. It was like loops of thoughts for 3 seconds, and then I would lose what I was thinking about. I couldn't even really think straight enough to like find a doctor when I was really in the thick of it. And so through doing this work, I was able to heal that and get clear and healthy and be able to go wherever and travel the world. The thing when I was really sick was that I didn't think I would ever be able to travel, which was my dream and which I'm living right now, because I couldn't go into other homes. Like, I couldn't go into Airbnbs. I couldn't go into airplanes. Before COVID was a thing, I was wearing one of those HEPA face masks, and I would have to wear that on the plane. I would have to wear that in my doctor's office. I would spend 5 or 6 days in the IV chair for 6+ hours. So I'd be wearing my HEPA mask because other people would have been sick from mold, and so I would be sick because of them. And so this changed my life. And now I get to go in places that I can see visible mold sometimes and be okay. There was mold at the place that we stayed in France, and there's mold in places on the farm, and I'm okay. It's never good to be breathing in that kind of stuff, but I'm okay, and I'm able to live my life again. And whenever I see these things and I start to fear, I choose to go into a high vibrational state. I choose to visualize, go into that place that I know so well of my chosen timeline where I'm living in my dream house, and things might change. So even though I'm in that, I say I choose this or whatever my soul wants. And because what I'm realizing is that, like right now, living on this farm, I'm like, wow, I never really until recently put this into my visualizations because I thought I wanted something else. You can be so influenced by your surroundings, by the people around you, by the, the place that you're living. So I was living in Southern California in Orange County where there's just, it's beautiful. But like the goal is like to live in the mansion and have the ocean view and to, blah, blah, blah. And part of me still really wants that. I love luxury. I love beautiful ocean views. I love healthy food. I love fancy gyms. I love that kind of stuff. But I also love roughing it and living in a van and living on a farm and being with animals and saving animals and fundraising for animals. Like I love this too. This is what my inner child wanted. This is what my child wanted, my child self wanted when I was growing up. And so that's why I think that it's important that when you go into these visualizations of brainwashing yourself, you're not only healing your nervous system, there's that, but then you can choose with your free will to have that timeline be your reality. But what I'm saying is that it's important to say, I choose this or whatever my soul wants, and then to let it go. Because you could arrive at that thing that you've been visualizing and realize that you wanted it because it was someone else's vision, because it was part of your programming and conditioning to think that you wanted that. And so that the way to truly be fulfilled is to always choose what your soul wants, what's for the highest good. What's for the highest good for all is what's also for the highest good for you, and vice versa. And so whenever you're choosing, you always want to put that in there too. So that's the message for today. If you would like to donate to the new fundraiser that I have going for 4 horses, so actually I'll show you Wince. And who else do we have? We don't have any of the other ones here right now. We were supposed to go record with all the horses today, but it's been raining on and off, so I think tomorrow we will record all the horses and their stories. The 4 of them that we're saving from the same owner that we are rescuing Ladybug from. And so it'll be easier, I guess, to raise the money for all of them and buy them together as a package deal. That's like, I guess, the way that it seems that this owner is going to allow us to do, to get them. This is Wince. Hello. Wince is allergic to hay. And so he would most likely be sent to the meat industry because of his allergy, and not very many people would want to deal with a horse who is allergic to hay, unfortunately, but he's a lovely, lovely, lovely horse. And we were approved for the amount that we want to give him, which would be like $1,500, I think. It was $1,500 or $1,700. So now we're just raising the money for that. And so once we get all those videos of the different horses, the 4 of the horses, we're also going to talk about the amount that we're raising specifically for each one. So this is Wince. And then we also have Rosa and Guapa and Pablo. And so tomorrow, hopefully, I'll have more on them. But if you want to donate to that cause, to us saving these horses so that they don't go to the slaughterhouse or to a home that would mistreat them or eventually send them to the slaughterhouse when they learn their condition. We disclose everything when owners come to, potential buyers come to look at the horses, but the other owner doesn't disclose them. So if the potential buyer chooses to buy sight unseen, then they would buy this horse without knowing about their conditions. And then a lot of people in the horse industry, especially in Italy, just tend to send horses to the meat industry if they have no value. But we want to save them and let them live out their long, healthy life. And wow. So if you know about Ladybug's story, I wish she was up here while I'm telling you this, but we're still waiting. We haven't been approved yet for the offer for her, for the $3,000 offer for her. But she's pregnant. She's pregnant. So we've been trying to breed her because that apparently will buy her more time on the farm. It's an agreement that the owner of this farm had with the guy who's in jail who owns her. And she wasn't able to get pregnant for like 5 cycles. But we thought yesterday we were testing her to see if she was going to be in ovulation to try one last time, because I guess it's not really desirable to have a summer baby. So this would be the last time to really be able to breed her so that her baby wouldn't be born in the summer because it's too hot to have a baby in the summer for the horses here. And instead of finding that she's in ovulation, we found that she's pregnant with potential twins. So twins are not a great thing for horses to be pregnant with, especially a horse with wobblers. And So one will hopefully absorb the other, or would have to be removed surgically, or I don't know. I don't know the whole story of what's going to happen with her and that. And so her condition wobblers is what makes her have the potential future of being sent to the meat industry to be slaughtered as well. If she has this baby and they have wobblers, then it's showing that it's a genetic issue, the wobblers, and that would have made it so that she would have probably for sure become meat. If the baby's born and does have wobblers, that means we can treat it right away so that the baby doesn't live with issues like that. It has to be caught when they're young. If the baby doesn't have wobblers, it doesn't necessarily mean her wobblers isn't genetic. It means that it could not be genetic. It could be from West Nile, which is a mosquito-borne illness, or it just could have been a baby that didn't end up having the wobblers that is genetic with her, and the next one could have it. Either way, if she was sold off to become bred or a breeding horse, she would have deteriorated super quick because she'd be pushing out babies all the time, and it's not good for her and her body. She would have died a quick, painful death. Slowish, but also quick. And hopefully she gets approved for the purchase that we want to make of her. And then also the agreement that we came to make, which I'd never even really considered, the farm owner here and me, is that when the sale goes through, she'll be 50% my horse and 50% the farm owner's horse. She'll live here for the rest of her life and get to graze grass and just be the spicy lady that she is. And then her baby that is in the belly right now will be my horse. And we've already named that horse. Its name is Chaos, Chaotic Dreams, because it was chaos. This whole thing has been chaos, trying to save her, trying to breed her. When we were breeding her a few times ago, all the horses got loose at that time, and all the male horses were just obsessed with her, and it was not the safest thing for us. But in that moment, we decided if there's ever a baby, we're going to name it Chaotic Dreams, because all the babies, or all the horses here, have some kind of name with dreams. But also Chaos is a great name for the baby. So baby Chaos on the way. We're going to check again in 10 days and see if the potential 2 babies turned into 1, or if there's actually 2 babies, and how that's all going. So I will let you guys know what happens with that whole story, what happens with the fundraising and the donation, or not the donation, the offers. If you want to sign up for one of my programs, we have 21 days to rewire your mind, 21 days to heal your, know your divine team. We should make one specifically just for healing your nervous system, but 21 days to rewire your mind is about healing your nervous system and walking into your chosen timeline and brainwashing yourself essentially. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, I have sessions for that. You can work up with me in a health/spiritual coaching one-off session, or we can do a 6-month program where we work bi-weekly for 6 months. And that's what I have for you today. I'm gonna go feed the horses, and I don't know what else I'm gonna do. Try to get some sleep. I feel like I still need to catch up from the week that I had in Switzerland and France at the wedding with my family. Maybe read my book. It's nice to start reading again. I'm reading The Throne of Whatever by Sarah J. Maas. I read the Akhtar series, and now I'm on like the 3rd or 4th book of this other series. So maybe read, chill out, enjoy life, visualize, brainwash myself, go to bed. All right, I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. If you like this one, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you are new here, and leave a comment if you feel called to do so. You can say, long live Ladybug and all her brothers and sisters, or whatever you feel like saying. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.